Well, it's important to remember that the Old Testament is more like a library than just one book. The 46 books are usually grouped into 4 categories. So the first group is the Pentateuch, then the historical books, then the wisdom literature, and finally the prophets. The Old Testament comes out of a predominantly oral culture, so many of the stories or many of the narratives show the characteristics of storytelling. For example, they are repetitious. It's not a transcript, it's not a verbatim report, but a series of religious reflections handed down from one generation to the next. It certainly didn't fall from on high. The Old Testament also contains many different types of writing. Now, this shouldn't cause us too much trouble since we're used to having to deal with a lot of different types of literature in our ordinary everyday lives. For example, when I look at my power account from Genesis Energy, I automatically identify this particular text as an account. To continue having power to my house, I need to pay Genesis Energy the specified amount by the specified date. I can't treat the piece of paper as a joke, or a request for a donation, or merely a suggestion, or a piece of junk mail to go straight into the recycling bin. No, I have to recognise this particular text's literary form and treat it accordingly. In actual fact, I have to carry out the first step of exegesis, a word commonly heard in biblical study. That is, I have to take out of this text its literal sense and therefore be able to recognise its truth. If, on the other hand, I carry out eisegesis, that is, if I read into it my own meaning, then I will badly misinterpret it. I will fail to recognise its truth, the truth that I actually owe Genesis Energy some money. I will not have paid my power bill. Now, we are used to identifying particular literary forms and reading them accordingly when we pick up the newspaper. We do it automatically. So we see editorials, lots of advertising, current events, sports results, cartoons, puzzles, letters, etc. And we read and interpret them sensibly. I don't read Tom Scott's cartoons in the same way as I read death notices. Now, these various types of literature all serve different purposes: to inform, to entertain, to persuade, to describe, to tell a story. So, when it comes to reading the Old Testament, it's very important for us to bring the same set of skills we bring to reading the newspaper if we are to begin to understand it properly. Now, I can hear some of you saying, what about the Bible being the Word of God? Isn't everything in it true? These are very important questions and must be dealt with, but not right now. For the moment, here are some of the types of literature that are found in the Old Testament: fables, hero stories, songs, oracles, history, poetry, legends, genealogies, prophecies, laws, myths, proverbs, laments, visions, short stories, speeches, riddles, prayers, and there are others such as biographies, conversations, romance, novels, epics, sagas, blessings, census records, parables, folk tales, elegies, etc.